panic, we're in over our heads again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business.
Welcome, everybody. I am Sondra Ray. I am the host of the Explore ProTech Coffee Chat Show, where we help entrepreneurs all over the world grow their businesses. And the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about funding, how to fund your business, steps and tips on where to get funding, and so on and so forth. So it is definitely my honor to bring on Miss Megan Deers, who has helped countless students with their pitches. So when this topic came up, she was of course the first person to go to. Knowing your pitch is extremely important, not just for pitch competitions, but also grants, business meetings, sometimes networking, not ours, but sometimes networking events. So you have to know how to present your business in short, concise clarity, with confidence, because I think that's usually my issue. I'm not confident. Actually, I know that's my issue. Let's be honest. It's extremely important, not just about funding, but about growing your business. So Ms. Megan, how are you today?
Hi, Sandra. Hi, everyone. Hello to everyone joining us. And thank you. I'm good. Your side?
Yeah. The U.S. is bracing for another huge category 4 hurricane. Unfortunately, it is in the line of my daughter, so we're working on evacuating her whole entire family. So it has been a very crazy morning, but there is a plan to get them at least out of the state and then hopefully up to me in Michigan. But that is the prayer. So yeah, but it is definitely flip the, I'm grateful I have a business because I can move things and reschedule things around, and did found them a hotel, which those are scarce, and do that. So I'm grateful for that. Anyways, let's get back on topic. Go for it. Give us some tips, tricks, info on pitches. This is definitely not my topic, so I'm glad you're here.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandra. And just sending love and hugs and prayers out to everyone finding themselves in that situation. I've got a few of my peers overseas in the same situation with the hurricanes and being evacuated as we speak. So just sending prayers out to everyone there for that. Yes, pitches. I think for me, the first line of approach is knowing who you are and what you're offering. So knowing your value that you pull into a space, right? Because I think, Sandra, you mentioned the confidence first and foremost, that most people find problematic. And I think that's probably one of the first places that your lack of confidence stems from, is just not knowing that you have an important, valuable service to offer that people are asking for, that they need, right? And if you bring it across and communicate that in the right ways, people can find you. And you have created the solution because you know there's a problem, and you know that the way you do it is really well, first, that you're excellent at what you do, but also that you answering and responding to a need. So I think that's one of the first things to remember, is that you hold value in that space, and you've created specifically for a group of people. So make sure you are speaking to the right group of people, that you're addressing the right group of people. And that tends to take away that huge pressure that one tends to feel when you are pitching and you're not sure how to express and articulate what you are bringing to the table. If you know who it's aimed at, who the solution's been drawn up for, and what you're solving in the best way you can and in the most unique way possible, then put it out there. Own it, and like Mr. Levy always says, own it and bring it to the table. Right, so that I think that's the first place that I start from, is just what am I bringing to the table? What value am I bringing into that space? Know your product or your service. Know it inside out. Know how it can be adjusted, moved, attached to different projects and people, because you might have one core product that serves a certain purpose, but with one or two tweaks, you might have the next best solution for someone else in that very space. Just with one or two little tweaks, the best deal is always not to have the tweaks to be done, but sometimes it makes more sense to put it out there with the little tweaks. So be open to that as well. And then always know your unique selling point. What are you doing differently? What are you doing better than your competitors in that space? No need to talk down on the competitors or to be really nasty about it. I would say acknowledge your competitors, be realistic about who they are, why they're better at certain areas even of the business, but make sure to highlight what you are bringing into that space that is different and superior in certain ways, right? And then I'm looking at milestones. Mention how you've been building your business, what you and your team, if you've got a team, have been doing across the period that your business has been in existence, because we forget to celebrate our milestones and how we've reached certain points in our business that are really positive. And those milestones count for a lot, because potential investors, people that are interested in partnering with you or getting involved on some level in your business, they will see the progress you have made. They will see the passion, the energy, the input that you invest in your business. And they will know that if they partner with you, it will not be a dead horse that they're betting on, right? You're pushing it. You are passionate about this space, and you know what you're doing, and you're prepared to learn about what you're doing and putting out there. So those are some of the key things I would mention to start with. And then I think last but not least, the ask needs to be mentioned. If you are pitching to an investor or pitching to partner, someone bring a partner into your business, make sure you know exactly what you are asking for. Why do you need someone like that to mentor you in your business, for example? Or why are you asking for 1 million rand or dollars? Those are the important kinds of things that we need to make sure that we are making very clear, and we are communicating across to the audience when we are pitching. So those would be my first points to consider, I think. And I see Peter's got his hand up already. Jump in, Peter.
Yeah, Sondra, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, for me, I got to witness the journey that our coaches took the students on for the Ignite program. And after having witnessed that journey, it was a thing of beauty. And I then also got to experience the interviews with the students after the course. The course came to an end. We wanted to know what their experience was, and I got to hear their stories, and it was incredible, absolutely incredible. So I will tip my hat to all the Ignite coaches. Mr. Levy, you were one of them. Megan, you were also one of them. The rest of you, you know who you were. You guys, in my books, you guys are superheroes. And for the students, likewise, because that's what their response was. So that's coming from them. In regards to the pitching space, the whole space only worked because every single week they were required to pitch. And that's how the program was built out. They would learn something and then change their pitch accordingly. And then they would learn something new and change their. So by the time they got to the end, pitching was a huge part of this entire process. So that's why I think any single one of our coaches could literally sit here and go, I know exactly what you need to do, because they've all been through this process, which is great. However, a pitch is not ammunition that you put into a gun and shoot everybody with. You don't run around with your pitch going, oh, are you willing to listen? Here's my pitch. Stand still while I shoot my pitch at you. A well-oiled pitch has its place. It has its time. When somebody asks, can you come and deliver a pitch so that I know more about your business and know more about what it is that you require, or what you need, or what you're looking for? So a well-oiled pitch is for that space, not just for random people that are all just willing to listen. That being said, if you do have a well-oiled pitch, and that well-oiled pitch is based on what Megan was talking about, understanding your product, understanding your space, then all you've done is you've managed to arm yourself with the exact information, with the exact target audience, with the exact, you know exactly what your product does. If you can have a conversation with general people, utilizing your pitch as the backbone of your conversation, then you are having a conversation that is purpose-driven. But don't just throw your pitch at people, because then it feels like you're trying to ram something down their throats. They're instantly not interested. It's like you're just here to deliver a pitch. You want something. If you know your pitch inside and out, deliver it where invited to deliver. If you're not invited to deliver, it creates the structure of your conversation, so that after a conversation, which is two-sided, the conversation is always two-sided. And after the conversation, the person that you're speaking to will have clarity about who you are, what you do, what your product is, and what you're possibly looking for. But they weren't shot with your pitch, if that makes any sense. We're all humans at the end of the day. And I know for me, I don't like being sold to unless I actually ask somebody to sell it to me. If I ask you, hey, sell it to me, pitch it, there's your opportunity to deliver. But without the invitation, please do not think that your well-oiled pitch is just going to earn you access to spaces because you're shooting everybody with it. Now, we've got to remember to be human and respect each other in how we speak to each other. And when you're speaking to somebody that has not invited you to pitch, like I said, it's a two-sided conversation. They need to be talking to you, and you need to learn as much about them as what they are learning about you. If you can do that, people will enjoy talking to you, and they will then invite you to pitch. So I just want to create that sort of understanding of the time, the place. There's a right time and there's a right place. And you add relationship building into that as much as you possibly can. So that's my 2 cents for now. I'm pretty sure something else will be mentioned and I'll be like, ooh, me. Yeah, looking forward to it. Sondra, back to you.
I love that, Peter. I love that. I love coffee chats for that very reason, because they're a two-sided conversation. And I always let the guest go first. And if it ends before I can get my spiel or my information to them, it's fine. We usually reschedule. I always give lots of buffers, but I love the two-sided. conversation versus this is the word vomit of what I do. So for sure, come on in, Mr. Levy. I know you have a lot of experience with this too.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thanks, Megan, for such a wonderful intro into packaging a pitch, if I can use that word. So I was making notes, sure, as you were writing. Otherwise, you know me, I'll speak beyond what I should be. So yeah, there's first of all what Pete said, you know, nobody likes to be sold to. So that's why it's called pitching, not selling. And don't sell your product, because I heard from which I think you've heard me say before, but I heard from actually a sales coach, a wonderful saying. He said, nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. And I love that. I think pitching, yeah, we're doing it every day, because in general conversation, in networking, but I'm going to underline, we're not selling. If you're getting into selling, you have to stop yourself. Or the other person might stop you as well, but just by walking away or showing disinterest. But we're just pitching in different environments. I think what Peter said was, if you understand, and you, Megan, if you understand your pitch and you have clarity, starting, as you correctly said, with yourself, and then with what your business is about, it's kind of, that's when I say that's all you need to know, there's quite a bit packed in that. But you need to be extremely clear on it, because then, depending on the environment and the discussion you're having, because, you know, today, even around the braai or barbecue for overseas international guests or people, is you, somewhere along the line, it comes up in conversation, you know, business and what do you do? And these are just normal questions, I suppose, that people ask. And it's what do you pull? You can't then, if you give them even your 10-minute concise pitch, you might scare them off, and it's not necessary. So it's what do you pull out of your pitch for that particular conversation to have it. And then you will see whether they're interested in continuing or not. So then just wait and listen to the response. Having said that, I did make a note is wait and listen for the response. But when you're speaking, don't focus on the response. And I picked that up, and I say this with the utmost respect, with some of the students that we were working with, these amazing people in the program. They didn't want to say something because they were worried about what would the other person say. And if you truly believe in what you're doing, I always say, you know, there will be people that will relate to it, and there will be people that won't. Both sides, there will be. And the people that you just want to connect with, the people that do relate to it, the people that don't, that's fine. Maybe they're not ready yet, or they're not interested, and just accept it. So the 8 billion people in the world, we don't all get on with each other. It's the same in business. You know, there are people, Megan and I can have the exact same business. There are people that will want to connect with Megan and not with me because they connect with Megan. It's kind of that simple. And I must accept that. I think the other thing is that you spoke about, Megan, was who you are. And yes, I am going to say it again, own it. But don't just own it. Own it. There's a difference between owning it and then owning and accepting who you are. And just accept that, because people will pick that up. So don't try and be someone you're not. It's hard enough being who you are. It's even harder trying to be someone else. So don't be somebody that you're not, and be confident enough to show up like that, because then it will come out. That will come out in how you're speaking. And if you're trying to be someone else, or you're not confident in yourself, and you've got the most brilliant pitch, people will pick it up. And we saw that at the final pitch day, not only the final pitch day, even the week before, but I'm specifically referring to that, where there was one particular day that she just pitched and chatted, and they all did. But particularly, she was pitching and doing things and talking. I didn't know how she did that, but she did it. And there was just that aura of confidence. And I think at that stage, it wasn't really the invest or the judges that were sitting there were not, at that stage, it was not about the numbers. Okay, it was about, they were already interested before she even got to the numbers. So that's important. The other thing that I wanted to highlight was, yes, if you put down your competitors or anybody, it's going to highlight to the person that you're speaking to that you actually don't have enough value in your business to offer, because the only way you can get business is by putting someone else down. If that is a way, step out of it, because the people will see it. And then talking about that, understand your values and what you value in your business. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you're pitching, okay, and you have an investor that is interested, you need to make sure why they're investing in your business besides just the money and the return on investment. If they do not align with your business, they can actually, even though they can give you the money, they can also still screw your business up. If you're not if your values are so far apart, okay, it's like having a partner in your business. If you don't share or align to the same values, it's not going to work. And it's the same with the investor. Don't just take them because they're putting money into your business. You've got to look deeper than that, as they will in yours. So it's a two-way street, as Pete said. So yeah, I think, those are the notes that I kind of made, and I've seen it. And actually somebody put on the group about that. There was a short clip about that young lady. I think she was in the States that went north of 20 million Rand in 3 years in a business. And the guy was doing an interview with her and saying, what is it that you did that got you, made you so successful in such a short period of time? And I loved the answer. She said it was the moment that I valued myself more than the money. That was brilliant. And that encapsulates it all. So, of course, the numbers are important. But you need to get them interested in your business. So yeah, I think everybody else has said pretty much it. Thank you, Sondra.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. I used to say it wasn't about the money, but you need money to run your business. So I had to watch my words. I was always like, I have to help everybody and passionate about helping everybody, which I can be passionate about helping everybody. I can be passionate and profitable. So those two have to go hand in hand. And I can honestly say for the first couple of years, I was focused on the passion and not the profit, making money. Words are not my friends today.
If I can, just because you just opened up a discussion, so if you don't mind, it's not about, we shouldn't be afraid to say that we're in business to make money, because if you're not, why are you in business? But the money shouldn't be the focus. The money should be the outcome of what you're doing.
Right.
And don't be scared to monetize your business. There's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
In fact, there's everything right with it.
And I'm grateful because I think this community has definitely taught me that. Megan, come on in.
Thanks, Sondra. Thanks, Mr. Levy, for bringing that up. I was about to pounce on that point myself because, yes, like Sondra, I also spent a long time very focused on the passion side of the business. Not that I'm going against that at this point, but what I have realized is the closer you get to that point where you are considering pitching your business more in the funding investment space, the more you get into that scaling space, the more you realize where the imbalances are in that space. And so you get to a point where you go, right, I actually need to be speaking to people that are prepared to bring up the money conversation, the financial aspect of the conversation, because so many conversations you have are about the business, about connecting, about collaboration, but it never gets to the monetary conversation, right? And so for years and years, that's, I think Sondra's nodding her head, we know the feeling, and that's often how it happens. But I think we also, as Mr. Levy said, we are in business to make money. We need to make money, feed ourselves, sustain ourselves, fill ourselves up before we can serve others. And we're in business to make money on some level, right? So we need to acknowledge that. But we also, there's a way that the conversation can be had without getting tongue-tied and stuck. It's a simple thing about my business is aimed at this. This is how I make money. This is how I feed my family. And if we see eye to eye on that, then yes, let's collaborate and let's move forward. But the other 2 points that I quickly just wanted to mention, I alluded to one earlier. I think we should just take the pressure off ourselves around this whole pitching thing, because the one thing, I mean, Mr. Levy, Peter, all the other coaches that were in the space, Hendrik that was on the previous cohort, Mikey, every Friday night before pitch day, we were saying to the participants, calm down, breathe. You guys have been practicing this. You've been doing this for 8 weeks, for 9 weeks, for 10 weeks, right? And we tend to make a production where there's no production required because it's an unknown factor to us. And so we expecting all these monsters to jump out at us. And at the end of the day, I think one of the best changes we could have made to the Ignite program was to implement the weekly pitching, because even though our students were still nervous and still stressed out on a Friday night, they got so accustomed to the process that I don't think we would have had the finale as we did if they hadn't had all the pitching practice every week. So that was brilliant. And so take the pressure off yourself, firstly, and then Coach Declan, I need to credit with this. Every pitch is a learning space, right? So if somebody today doesn't get your pitch, doesn't, want to take the conversation further, as I think Peter and Mr. Levy mentioned, it's not your audience, move on. Tomorrow you speak to someone else, and it might not be the person you're speaking to, it might be their husband, their brother, their cousin that is a really good match for your company in terms of investment or support. And how you carry that across with passion, with energy, knowing your value, owning it. That's what is going to get you the introduction to that next person that actually is your perfect match. So please remember that. Thank you.
I love that, Megan, so much. I like the fact that you guys practice. I know that's something that I would definitely appreciate practicing, which I think would help the nerves and the confidence. It's very interesting. I don't get as nervous to do the show anymore, but me by myself is a whole different story. The panel is one thing, I have support. But yeah, me by myself is definitely a different story. So I love that. I love that. Thank you. Peter, come on in.
Yeah, I'm going to make a very simple statement and then I'll back it up. Investors don't invest in pitches. It's not the pitch. It never will be the pitch. Investors invest in people because they will invest in people that they see potential of them getting their return on investment. And that's based on character. That's based on endurance. That's based on your go get it done attitude. That's based on, there's so many things that they base those on. They don't base it on the pitch. You can have two people with identical pitches, and the one is like, yeah, I'm gonna deliver my pitch. Here's my pitch. Take it or leave it. That kind of mentality, and then word for word can deliver exactly the same pitch. And they will invest in the one and not the other. And the two pitches are identical. So you need to understand that the power of who you are is, and we've talked about it within this, the power of who you are is as important, if not more important. You will actually find that even somebody that exudes that confidence, or not even confidence, just the knowledge of who they are and how comfortable they are with themselves and how they've managed to align who they are with their pitch, even if they don't deliver the perfect pitch, the investor is more than likely going to invest in the person because they know that that's somebody they can work with. So even if, and then you'll find questions happening like, This was your pitch. However, we require this. Is there a way that we can work with you to get that? And then it becomes a conversation. Yes, I can tweak this. Yes, I can do that. Instead of, but stepping into those spaces, and I generally don't prepare for anything. I've never prepared for a pitch in my life. I've never, because I don't have to. I don't have to. It's just something I can step into a space and have a conversation. I deal with people all the time. It comes naturally. I'm pitching tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to say until tomorrow. I'll read the room, and say what I have to say at that point in time. I actually rely on the who I am more than the actual pitch, if that makes any sense. For your general entrepreneur, the belief in yourself and your space becomes well-oiled when you oil it with a well-versed pitch. The pitch is just the lubrication in the oil. That's all it is. It's not, people tend to highlight the pitch itself as the hero. Like, I've perfected this pitch. There's no ways this pitch can't work. Well, actually, there is a way that pitch can't work if you don't deliver it based on the truth of who you actually are. Because somebody else can deliver the exact same pitch and be successful, and you'll deliver that pitch and fail. So going right back to the beginning, like Megan, that second week, the students getting to know who they were, how emotional was that? And how empowering was it when they actually broke through? Because there was a point in time during that week where they hit this breakthrough, and all of these students were like, oh my goodness me, I'm finding things out about myself, and I'm now able to utilize that and understand it. It was so powerful. And I think, Mr. Levy, when you were referring to that one student, I'm going to guess that I know who it was. It was Hope with the nails. There we go. Because I could see it and I could feel it. She changed all of her clip-on nails right in her pitch. She was pitching and changing her nails by the time she had finished pitching the business, which has got to do with her nails. She'd really changed her nails, and everybody was like, oh my goodness me. She changed all of her nails and she did it with this is who I am. And it was a thing of beauty. It was brilliant. So understand the power of who you are. Utilize the pitch as the oil. That's it.
I love that, Peter. I love that. Yes. Getting to know Hope, and yes, definitely. Very confident person. Mr. Levy, come on in.
Yeah, it's just, of course, every time someone speaks, it sparks something. And there were two things also that I had a conversation just last week with one of the students that were on the program. And they were talking about they're not sure who their audience is. Or to bring it down, they know who their audience is. They're not sure how to target who is their target audience or niche audience, if you want to call it that. So if you know who your audience is, but you're not sure who your niche is, go out and talk about what you do and why your business exists, the big why. I firmly believe in that. And you will find out then, because the comment was wait, but I'm not sure who in that audience will respond to me. It came back to that response. I said, but yes, but go out and just speak about, don't worry about the response. Tell them why your business exists and why you're in it. And then you're going to, from that, you'll start narrowing down or be able to form a profile of those people that respond positively to what you've just spoken about. And you will then conform, or you will find your own niche audience. And you will find what that, as they use in media terms, which is not my area of expertise, your avatar. But you can profile it around those people that respond to you. Or have a look at your best client, or a client that you've had the most success with. If you're in an existing business, profile your client around that? What worked there? So that was the one thing. And yeah, the other thing is, I think, speaking about, like, why your business exists. And again, I'm going to say beyond making money, because if you understand that and you do that correctly, the better you do it, the more chances of making money you have. So, it's like, I'm going to use, because I've tested it. So I've used, when I speak to people, I use the word, because I'm in the business space or leadership space. So I've used the word business, I've used the word leadership, I've used those words, high performance, and so on, and you get response. And I think it was Peter, like Peter was saying, it depends on the environment that you're in, who you're speaking to. But I've intentionally gone and tested certain things. When I mention the word leadership, the response sometimes is like, okay, because there are a million leadership coaches, so you become another part of the pot. When I've gone in and said, they said, what do you do? And I say, I inspire people to respect each other and their differences. It's amazing how they said, how do you do that? Or there will be a pause. So I've never mentioned one thing about coaching, one thing about leadership, one thing about business. And it's amazing, the response to that has been a lot more powerful than the response to just, if I say I'm a leadership coach, because if they don't ask you how, or it doesn't maybe pique their interest, maybe you don't have to carry on with the rest of the conversation or even get to the numbers. It's just one part of it. I'm not saying it's not everything. There's a whole lot that goes into this package, as Megan mentioned when she opened up the session. So, but it's good. And I want to say to people, if you're going to go out and test various pitches, test various intros. It's the best way to find out, because you're going to get a response from people who are objective and actually they're not going to respond back to you what you want to, tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you like it is. Great feedback.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. All very, very good points. Megan, come on in.
Thank you, Sondra. And yes, I just want to touch on a point there, a couple of points that Mr. Levy mentioned and alluded to. The creation of curiosity. I mean, who doesn't want to listen to a good story? Who doesn't want to hear an interesting something, right? So the more curiosity you create, the more response and engagement you're going to get. Yes, it might mean that 10 people will follow up with some kind of comment, engagement on whatever you're putting out there, or responses to your pitch. And 5 might fall off the bus within 10 minutes after hearing the next part of what you've got to say. The point is, if you leave enough mystery in what you say initially, like Mr. Levy mentioned how he introduces himself differently rather than a leadership coach. People want to know, what does that mean? How do you do that is the question Mr. Levy gets. So that's just sparking that level of curiosity in someone to want to know more. And that's a very important part of, I almost want to say, leading the audience on, but it's not leading them on. It's actually just leading them down the path of your story. Right? And so when you open up that conversation and you're creating that curiosity, it makes people follow you and want to know more. So that's always a good thing to do. And then also, just in response to what Mr. Levy mentioned earlier, not knowing your target audience or your niche target, perhaps. Also, another thing to remember and to be very clear on, who is your customer? And is your customer and consumer the same person? Right? So I'm going to give you a very realistic example, and this is something that happens in my space. So as an English literacy tutor, my target audience is, my primary target audience are the parents of the children who I want to bring into my space, because they are making the decision about whether or not their grade 1 child needs the tuition at this point, whether they can afford it, whether the timing will work for them, whether the transport will work for them, whatever the case might be, right? So I'm bringing the parents into my space and making them understand how important English literacy is to their child's success and growth. So for me, that is my target audience. The consumer, the people actually using my product, those are my students, my learners. So those are the children of the parents that I've managed to show why my tuition is important for their child to succeed. So that's an important thing, because a lot of people don't realize that your consumer is not always your customer. So just wanted to throw that in there. Thank you. Thanks, Sondra.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I know an entrepreneur that coaches youth mental health coaching around sports for youth. But yes, it's the parents that are paying for it, not the youth. But not only does she have to convince the parents to pay for it, she also has to convince the youth to do the work. So it's like a two-sided. The actual work is with the student, and but the parents are the ones paying.
Okay.
So yeah, it can be definitely two things. I could see that very importantly. Question for you, besides getting out and practicing it, how else can you get the clarity and like make sure you're on track?
So, Sondra, for me, my process has been, like Mr. Levy said, testing the wording, the communication, the way I present myself, the responses I get back. And this has been for me a process over 4.5 years. And just figuring out what resonates best with the people in my space. And I've got a multi-passionate business. So I've got multiple elements happening in my business, not just a singular focus. So for me, it's about drumming through those messages that I want to put out, feeling how the communication comes back, and then tweaking it every time I'm not really happy with the response. But when you find that moment where it slips off your tongue, you very easily step into conversation when somebody asks, what do you do? This is what I do. And, this is how I do it. And the conversation starts flowing from that point. Then you hit the right spot, the sweet spot. Because it's only when you own it and you are actually convinced that this is me and this is how I step out and show up into the world. And once you accept that and it feels right with you, when you say it to others and they respond to that, that's where you are. That's where you hit the spot.
Awesome, Megan. I also have multiple avenues, so I hear you. It can be, I think it's hard. It's harder, but I know one of my clients client niche is multiple passionate people that have multiple businesses. So I have to show that I also understand that, and that's really been eye-opening in the last 6 months that I say that's my niche, but at the same time, I don't talk about all the different avenues so that they can relate to me more. I say I do X when I actually do A, B, C, and X. So
right.
Definitely, for sure.
Sorry, Sondra, just before we pop off to Peter, the other thing that really helped me in my space is just owning the fact that I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. So when people ask me, I introduce myself as a creative, a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Which part of my business would you like to hear about today? That's where I go, right? So that they know there's a lot to talk about. If they say to me they're interested in photography, I say, let's chat about photography, because that's one of my hobbies and passions too. And that's where I go. So I think one of the big parts is, previously, what used to happen, I think, in business, people were told you have to niche down. You have to just focus on one thing. There's a lot more multi-passionates out there than people realized initially. And many more people are indulging their business minds to multiple income streams. And some of them are really diverse. And I think that's a new part of business that we really have to appreciate and really have to start owning in our spaces as multi-passionates. So that's a definite.
I love that. I love that for sure, for sure. Peter, come on in.
Yeah, I think from my understanding of getting people to be interested in who you are, in order to get them to understand what your business is, read the room. You have to have the ability to read the room. If you are in a space where the person that you're talking to literally just wants you to pitch and get it done with so that they know, you will pick it up. You will know. They'll be like, okay, right, you've got 10 minutes, give me your pitch. And there's your opportunity to give your pitch. However, everybody's different. So I might step into a space and a person doesn't want to be spoken at for 10 minutes. They want to have a conversation. 9 times out of 10, the conversation, is it supposed to go in the direction of your pitch? Yes. Is it supposed to be two-sided? Yes. But every now and then you bump into somebody that you just really click with. And the topic of your pitch or their space doesn't actually even feature, because you'll arrive and you'll be like, you'll be like, okay, nice to meet you. How was your weekend? Oh, great. I got to go for a ride. Oh, you got to go for a ride. What do you ride? Oh, I ride this. Oh, my goodness me. I ride that. Oh, what's the last trip you took? Oh, I took a trip through this country. We did this route. Oh, my goodness me. I took the time to go right up the coast and then go enjoy a cup of coffee at one of the local cafes. Oh, that must be so nice. What's the weather like there? Connection is the name of the game. Connection supersedes anything else. Based on the connection, a person will turn around and go, you know what, we didn't even get to discuss business, but we really connected. I so enjoyed talking to you. We really connect. I would really like to talk. Maybe we've run out of time. But I want to know more. By including that person into your space, by going, well, actually, you know what? I go to this particular group and we do this particular event. Maybe you want to come and spend some time with us. And that person is like, well, based on how you are as a person, and I enjoyed spending time with you, I might enjoy spending some time with the people that you enjoy spending time with. And include that person and bring them into your circle. People are all humans. We need to connect with each other. We need to feel needed. We need to feel appreciated. We need to feel accepted. We need to feel, we're not all robots. You're not just punching your commands and then out pops this result. Life does not work that way. And I've probably done some of the best business ever with people that within the first 2 or 3 meetings, we'd never discussed business at all. But they do have an understanding of what it is that I do. And then in those conversations in between, it's like, actually, we're busy with this project and we had such a cool time. We got to fly up to this place and do X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh my goodness me, you're actually doing it. It creates this space of, it's not just a pitch. It's almost like they're overviewing your existence. They're overviewing your purpose. They're overviewing who you are. And it becomes real connection. So please don't consider your pitch like the 10-minute throw something at you and avoid the human element. Because if you avoid the human element, people will avoid you. It just goes without saying. It's just human nature. If you do have to be very strategic about it. Some people just want to get to the point. If that's what they want, give it to them because they've asked for it. If they're looking to connect, read the room. Are they perhaps entrepreneurs that work from home? Are they lonely? Did they actually just need somebody to talk to? Did you just happen to arrive when they needed to talk to somebody the most? If you miss those opportunities, you're not reading your room at all. Get to learn as more about them than they get to learn about you initially. Because based on learning more about them, you might in that space go, actually, you know what? You suggested this, and I actually know somebody that you just have to talk to that person. Like, for instance, you're dealing with this, but actually, Steven's in that space, and the two of you are going to get on like a house on fire. He's a good friend of mine. I'm going to make an introduction because the two of you, I think there's a magical conversation. I would love to introduce you. Actually, you know what? I wonder if he's not available. I've got him on WhatsApp. I wonder if he's got the time to jump into this meeting. Hey, Steven's available. Hey, Steve, do you want to jump into this meeting? I really want to introduce you to somebody. At the end of the day, and actually this is something that, Stephen, that you say a lot, and especially in the leadership space, that it starts with you, but it's not all about you. It could not be more true. So are we in business to make money? Yes. Do we need to get our pitch out there? Yes. But read the room and connect. Otherwise, you're just a robot. You're just being a robot, throwing your pitch out and seeing what damage you can do in the least amount of time. And the only damage you will do in that space is to yourself, because ain't nobody interested in listening. People want to listen to people, not to robots. So, and then have fun with it. If you're not having fun, go do something else, please.
For sure, Peter. I love that. And that's why the tribe motto is coffee first, business later. Really true. That is our Explore ProTech motto. One of the reasons I was drawn to the community. Mr. Levy, come on in.
Yeah, it was just a word that Megan used, and Pete, you took what I was going to say, but also I'll just reiterate it. Is that word curiosity. If you want people to speak about your business, speak about theirs. Be curious about theirs. That's all I wanted to say. Can you believe it?
Love it, Mr. Levy. Miss Megan, can you give us some wrap-up advice or tips or whatever you want to do for wrap-up, and then we'll start wrapping up the show.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. So my final words, I actually wrote down here one of the things that Peter and Mr. Levy both mentioned right now. Own your space. Don't try to convince anyone or sell your product. Talk to people. Tell them, yeah, I am. This is what I do. And have the conversation. It's a conversation. Just stop looking at the pitch as a pitch. Yes. When people are interested in your business from an investment perspective, they will go deeper. They will ask you about your financials. They will ask you some questions that might make you awkward. But if you don't know, just say, I don't know, but I'll find out and I'll send you the detail, right? Because there are things in my business after 4.5 years I've got no clue about. Why? Because I might not have done that before. And I might not understand the question. I might not understand where they're coming from. I might not even connect it to my business. So don't be shy to say, I'm not sure. Can you rephrase that? Let's see if I can get the information to you as you need it. And then show your value and your passion and have fun, because at the end of the day, we do need to have fun in our businesses. Absolutely. So yeah, happy to roll up with that.
Thank you, Megan. And you want to tell us your main business, or whichever business you want to tell us?
Thank you, Sondra. So I am an advocate for global literacy. So at this point in time, I am very hard at work getting my youth academy, which is firmly entrenched in literacy, off the ground. So that's my key focus at the moment. In the background, I do everything around literacy, from tuition, which I mentioned earlier, to content writing and content creation. That's my core business. And the literacy space is growing. Thank you very much.
Love it. Thank you so much, Megan. If you want to talk to Megan more, her LinkedIn link will be in the show notes, because the amazing Miss Susan does our covers, our show notes, and she turns this into a podcast on Spotify. So please make sure you go follow us on Spotify, and you have to listen to a couple episodes, I think, and then you can rate us, which will get us in front of more people. This show is meant to be international. So share for sure. And then Ms. Somerville, of course, the tribe has a Somerville. You need to get one too. And she helps with background and emails and everything else in between. So super grateful for her. My name is Sondra Ray, and I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching. I help you create your action plans, set your goals, create your processes, and everything else in between, while I hold you accountable and do the work with you instead of just telling you how to do it. Mr. Peter, you want to wrap us up?
Awesome. Just a word to the Explore ProTech community. You know who you are. The students that have joined that space, you guys are a powerhouse. You figured that out during the Ignite program. We all figured that out during the Ignite program. You all know what to do. Comment, like, share. It's all part of how we grow as a community. So it's no different. It's just not for points. It's now purpose-driven. The stronger our community, the more of an impact we make, and we do that together. So comment, like, and share. And then on the note of leaving the space, we'll end it with the words of our infamous Miss Nistine Buerto. And that is, may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true. Peace
Bye,
out.
guys. See you